Chris, you've always played this down, particularly recent months, this type of subject, but actually it's a big bit of business both for you and for the club.
Well, yeah, really, I've always said, very honoured to be head coach stroke manager at the football club. It's gone really well since the day I walked in, but I'm very proud of that fact, and for the club to see the work that's going on and look to support it, I'm very thankful of everybody at the football club.
That's a key part of it, isn't it? It's supporting the vision, the direction that you want to take the club. That's a big pat on the back.
Well, massive to thank you to Carlisle for giving me an opportunity in terms of being a number one, or however you want to say what my role is. But I'm really pleased. But more importantly, it's about all of us, and it's about the players. I'm very privileged to stand in front of them and speak to them, challenge them every day, and try and get up to things like we are on the football pitch that represent Carlisle and the community of Carlisle, which is, like I keep saying, them hard-working traits. So, honesty, stick to those values, along with some really good football and some really good goals we've scored. So we've got to keep continuing to do that. If
we talk to players who are in this situation, they'll talk about it being a relief and they can stop thinking about it. Is that the same for a manager?
No, because you just got to win your next game. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, that's stocks and shares. You judge on 3 points, the value of 3 points, how you get them. That's up to you. I know we're very proud of how we play. We play fast attacking football. We don't overvalue possession in our own 6-yard box, stroke 18-yard box. We understand that the way we play has positives and great things to it, so that's what we want to continue to do.
You are right, you do get judged on that one thing, but what this shows over the past 12 months is that you've been judged really fairly for something that's been going really well.
Yeah, and like I said, I thank Andrew and obviously David in trying to get to this point. I think them two have been trying to knock on the door for quite a while, really, and often these things take a little bit of time, but patience, understanding. There's nothing in terms of what we're trying to achieve changed. It just stays the same. All we can do is look to play our next opponent. Our next opponent's Bolton.
That direction that you do want to go in, though, this another 18 months ahead, that means you can really start to focus on what you want to do.
Well, I've been pushing the younger players.
Merry Christmas!
Yeah. Well, the players are important, obviously, and we're doing our best on all facets of recruiting. But we keep pushing at that angle. But if you look at the club, the younger players, the standards, what they're expected, and how they try and go about what they do is important. There's a few lads training with us today, even though it's preparation for Bolton. We're still Fish trained with us today, did ever so well playing at Rochdale, and we've got to try and bring on them traits and keep them Carlisle real important values we have, because in the footballing world often things change in time and we've got to find an answer. I'd love the answers to already be here, but often it's not quite like that, but we've got to work like that.
In terms of finding those answers, Chris, when the players that you're talking to, whether they're here already or about to come to the club, know that you're here, that you're part of the furniture, does that make it easier to recruit?
Well, I'd like to think so. I mean, I suppose if I was very, very selfish, I didn't have to commit at this point. You're probably more attainable if you don't. But I'm not really like that as a person. I like to build things. I've been doing this a long time. I've been coaching since I was 29, so I'm 46 now, so I've done it a long time. With a lot of players, developed a lot of people, and been fortunate to work with a lot of good people as well to help me do that. But now we've found a new situation here at Carlisle that I want to try and keep progressing, and I'm very thankful of that support. But we've got to make sure that all this is just a new start line for us to progress forwards.
And whatever the limitations, whatever the boundaries and obstacles that might be in the way at a League Two club, this seems to be a club that fits.
Yeah, but there are definitely obstacles. Even getting to talk to you today, there's always an obstacle. So that's just life. You've got to adapt to make it work. And I think in terms of the the best people and the people that have longevity within the game are the ones that adapt and find a way that make it work till maybe one day you can reach utopia where everything's laid on, everything's done for you, everything's extra paid for, to remove any type of excuse and get continued delivery of top class international football players. Well, we've got to be realistic as well as optimistic, and we've had to grow and make our inroad this season, and we need to continue to grow it to make it better for the future.
I asked you this the other day, but I don't mind asking it again. To have come from where we were 5 points above the relegation zone to where we are now, 13 months later, that's some achievement.
Well, and if you stick the coronavirus in the middle of that, the 2 windows that were like massive windows for Carlisle really, and for me in terms of how hard we worked, and that was a big part of my decision to look at myself in my current position. I want to commit to our work. I enjoy the support I get from the supporters and from the football club, so I want it to grow and get better. The time now is to unite and step forwards, not actually do other things that could possibly come to you. And I do that because of the players' commitment to me. They play like that, you can see that. So I have to honour them as well. It's a two-way street, and football can be very fickle. It can be very different at times, what can happen to you as an individual, but I'm very, very pleased the fact that we've got that put to bed as such, and we can keep growing and hopefully keep delivering.
Just spoken to the chairman, he won't mind me saying that I could have written a mini-series in what he had to say about you, Chris. There's a strong relationship there. One of the things that stood out from what he said was your hard work ethic is infectious. Great to hear things like that, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I have a lot of respect for Andrew. Yeah, I do, and it was a big part of why you want to do these things when they get put in front of you. It isn't money orientated. It's from a point of view to progress and make sure the club's in a good place. And we've all worked. It's not just me. And I'm thankful of people following me, but we've all worked very hard to put the club in a better position. And what we have to do now is understand why we're in it and look to make it, better, while trying to keep financially stable, because it still is very difficult.
And the way you and David have worked together, that's been another outside looking in, another strong bond.
Oh yeah, obviously David does the final points of contracts, and often, like at home in a family, you can have strong conversations and differences within it. But if you have respect and understand that you're trying to get to a point, sometimes you have to give and take on both sides. I would imagine some of the questions he has to ask on my behalf are quite difficult, as I'm asking of him to support us to progress. And everybody's been working very hard, and I want it to continue us all working in the same direction. And try and go a little bit faster and a little bit harder. Why not?
How good is it to know that Gav will be there side by side all the way through this extension?
Well, Gav, obviously, and I did touch on this I think a few weeks ago, it's difficult when you come into a club on your own. It really is. And we've had a lot of staff members leave. We've had loads of players go. And then you're trying to and nobody likes being told, when you try and make difference, and outside eyes coming in, you can easily offend people, and people it's a human trait, and nobody likes that really. So you've got to try and find a way of doing that, and making sure you've got some sort of belief in somebody who's helping you to try and achieve that. And I think that's grown real strong in Gavin with me, and I'm really pleased that he's committing, because it's important he gets rewarded for the hard work he shows, along with all the other staff members and players.
Got to end on the fans, Chris. We've had managers who've had close relationships in the past. Nothing like this. Where's the Beech gift? Where's the Beech boys? Everything that you're doing at the moment resonates with them. They'll be delighted at this news. Again, what's it like to know that that's in the background?
Well, it feels, thank you. Really appreciate it, I really do. And I know it ain't always going to be on all of our terms. We're going to have some tough situations in the future. It depends where this can grow to and possibly grow through. But I'm really thankful of every single one, Carlisle fan, whoever. And I was stopped in Chorley the other day when I went on the market with the missus to get some cheese for Christmas, and like, oh wow, what's going on? Like, what are you doing? So excuse me. So I'm a Carlisle fan. Well, okay, great to see you. Yeah, it's very good. But I all know where it all comes from. It comes from having that relationship with them, and it comes from them seeing the efforts of the lads, and we have to 100% understand that. And then, you know, on good days it's unbelievable, and we've had a lot, haven't we, of good days at home, and we've got to try and continue to like I say, keep having them, because there's nothing better than that feeling of winning. Winning is everything about a football club, and it makes everything else work from that point. And the way we do it in our honest values, I'm really proud of them.
Chris, I think we've just added a little bit more festive cheer to Christmas Day for the fans. Thank you.
Merry Christmas.